Hello and welcome to the Excel training sessions by IndieTest. In this session, we're going to learn about the type of data that can go into our Excel sheets. Now, all this time we have been inputting our data. We have been putting it into the employee forms in the form of our names, in the form of our age, and in the form of our previous salaries, or maybe in the form of our address. But from the Excel point of view, with each and everything that I mentioned before has a very different meaning and a different value. Now, if I talk about just the name that you put into your employee form, it is of the form of a text value, which involves the alphabets in the English language. If I talk about your age, it's a number. And when I talk about numbers, it is of the type of number in Excel. And whenever you're using alpha to represent your email addresses, or dollar to represent your currency values, or whenever you're using exclamation marks or hash marks, that is something what is called special characters in Excel. There's also a fourth kind, but it's sort of an hybrid between the text and the numbers, and it involves using both of them in the same cell, in one subsequent to another. For example, in this case, I've used the combination of IndieTest in 2014 to form up something called IndieTest 2014. Now let's take an example for this. Say for example, I want to input a name in an Excel cell. So I move on to the cell, say in this case the E2 cell, and put in my name. So there we go. David Fuller is my name, and I have input it into the E2 cell and pressed enter. Pressing the enter button takes me to the next cell, that is the E3 button. And what if I want to input my age into this? So I go ahead and put in 26. That is a number. Now you see the difference. The difference is that in the first case, it is just merely a text value that I've put into the cell E2. When I moved into the E3 cell, I input my age. It is a purely numeric value. Now what if I also want to input the address, my home address, into this? So I move on to this, the E4 cell, and input my address. So I go now. Everything that I've input into the E4 cell has a special meaning, as I said before. This is a alphanumeric type entry in the cell E4 of Excel. Now by alphanumeric, I mean that it is a combination of numbers and obviously the text values, the text value being the Astra Avenue and 3465 being the number. But it is also special from a second perspective. You can see there are two other special characters involved, this too, the hash and the comma, and the combination of all these things make something called the address in this case. So in this case, you're clearly able to see that a possible combination exists between text, numbers, and special characters to form any type of data that we can put into Excel. There's also one more aspect that is very helpful for us to knowing that whether a column holds the text values or the numeric values, which is quite apparent in the way Excel has presented us the numeric values and the character values. So if you look closely, the character values are always aligned left of the cell, and the numeric values are by default aligned right towards the cell. And we can verify this by making up new entries. So for example, I input the second year in this, 2015, it will move right. Say for example, in this I input another textual entry into this, it will move towards left. So there you go. So if I were to increase this and input even more numeric values, you can see everything gets aligned towards the right. Now this is extremely helpful when looking at a column from a whole perspective. If all of the values are aligned towards the right, you can definitely say that these are numeric values, and if these values are aligned towards the left, you can definitely say these are character values. Now this holds true for alphanumeric and special characters also. Any cell value holding an alphanumeric or a special character will also be aligned towards the left. So except for the number values, which gets aligned towards the right, everything else gets aligned towards the left. Thank you for watching.